of the book girlies want to talk about spicy romance books. Are you kidding me? These two top the notch for me so far this summer. Danielle Allen is a new author to me, and when I tell you she does not hold back, she starts off with the spice right away. Okay, she gonna have you all like, ooh, what? She gonna have you, hold up, wait a minute. Let's talk about the two books that I recently read, or one book I recently read and one I'm currently reading. And also, I purchased two new books that are going on my fall TBR. So let's get into it. Hello, beautiful people. I am in your face. If you are new here, welcome. I am Darnaya, Darice, first name, middle name. Happy Sunday. It is August 10th when this is going out. So whenever you're watching this, I hope you are feeling uplifted. I hope you are feeling encouraged and replenishing yourself, however which your way you do that. Okay, don't forget to comment, like, and share. And if you are still in your summer romance vibe, or just your fall romance vibe, or getting into the fall romance vibe, let me know what you are currently reading that is really good. Okay, now I have read Curvy Girl Summer. This is book 1 to the Curve series. This is by Danielle Allen. Look at that cover. Okay, purple is my favorite color. If you did not know, that's why I always leave purple hearts under your videos for those who make content. I love purple, okay? It's a sign of royalty. I love all shades, the dark purple, the lavender. But can we talk about this cover, this purple and this lime green, if you will? Some will see it as yellow. It is what it is. This book by Danielle Allen, she starts off, hold up, y'all need to hear this. Let me read this first. And I don't know if you read this book. Hold on, let me shift y'all up a little bit. I don't know if you have read this book already, but this is how she starts off. There were many reasons why I stopped dating Matthew, but a well-timed apology in his 10 veiny inches had me bent over for him one final time. That's how she started this off. Now, I know what you're thinking, Darnaya, what are you doing reading this? What are you doing? Listen, this book, even though it starts off spicy and it starts off like, girl, are you in your 20s? What you doing? Okay, what are you doing? Circling back. It goes into so many different themes that I do love and should be highlighted and talked about. Obviously, based on the title and the cover, you see that the main female character in this is a woman who is of the thicker side. However, she is bold, she is beautiful, she dresses well, she has much confidence in herself. However, sometimes that starts to wane as she's going through the dating life, or that while she's in the social circle. She has two parents in the home. She has a loving mother, a loving father who are still together and who will still have their home, who she still can go to and talk to. However, she does have that type of family where she gets compared to her sister. Now, fortunately, there's something that happens to her sister. Her sister has passed, which you can read, and it's not necessarily a spoiler. They're going to start out giving you that information early on. However, the sister who was when she was alive, the sister Anaya, because this lady is named Aaliyah, the sister was one who by 30, she was married, she had a good, career, she was having a child at the time, but unfortunately that wasn't able to go through. She was apparently intelligent, and so she gets compared to her sister, which in this book she is on her journey because she is about to turn 30 and she's throwing this big party, and she's like, well, I want to find that person. I want to find my person. And she has this uncle who is, by the way, out of order, out of line, who says, you need to find somebody. You're getting, the uncle brings up her weight often, even though apparently we found out that he's bigger than her. And it's not the type of weight necessarily where she's like overly big, but she has that type of weight where it's beautiful, but it's curvy. But he's saying like, oh, I don't want you to get bigger. We need to do something about it because you may not find a man. Everybody don't like curvy girls. And he just says stuff out of line. And that's one thing that you'll notice, especially in the Black family experience. You get a lot of family members who kind of speak out of order. We don't set good boundaries because we think boundaries shouldn't exist. You just like, oh, that's your elder. You should respect him, or you should respect her and let them say what they got to say. No, man. We have to learn to be healthy in our feedback. We have to learn how to set boundaries. She has parents, okay? And the way you're going about it, talking to her like because she's big, she's gonna have a hard time finding a man, or because she's getting older, it's gonna be a hard time finding a man. And he has this yacht that he gave to the other sister, but he took it back when she passed away. And then he's like, oh, the only way I'll give you this yacht is if you have a man that shows up to your party. Like, it's really wild. Even though she is in IT, I do love that Danielle gave this female character and the male character in here, the main one, pretty great jobs. And the family owns, the male character, the family owns their own business, and if you read it, you'll find out what the business is. But in this book, she's going to go on a series of dates because she's like, no, if I want to find somebody, I got to put myself out there. Now, the way she puts herself out there, you may not agree. Okay, you may say, I don't want that for my daughter. You're not doing that. Okay, you're not doing it that way. But I love that Diana, I was about to call Danielle Diana, y'all. This is not Diana, but I love the way she tackles these themes of, yes, you want to have confidence in yourself. Yes, you want to have push body positivity and confidence, but you also want to push healthy mindsets. You also want to make sure you're maintaining yourself and healthy in your way. And I love she addresses that here because the female character does go to the doctor, and the doctor tells her, no, you're on track. You are pretty healthy, and so I love that she addresses that we need to be able to take feedback. We need to be able to continue to monitor ourselves. But this main character isn't one that's losing herself, that some people would say. She is maintaining and she's moving through life. And what's heartbreaking in these, which I'm reading now, Plus Size Player. Now this was it's even more spicier than this one, okay? This one was a little more tamed if you're talking compared to this. But I love the way that we have to understand how getting information is, we have to understand like what, if we were in somebody else's shoes, how do they feel? Because you know how you can have people, and sometimes I'm like that, you may look confident, you're smiling, but on the inside you're unsure, or you're like, oh, how am I being perceived, or how people see me. And in these books, especially in Plus Size Player and these, sometimes you see the females, the bigger women, getting attacked. If they say no, somebody tries to make an advance to them, they have to worry about somebody cursing them out or tell them, oh, I didn't want your big self anyway. I didn't want your fat self anyway. And it's like, whoa, hold up. I have a right to say no. And that's what we have to remember. People have the right to say no. Everybody's not going to like it. You don't have to take offense to that. Oh, no, thank you. I'm already dating someone. Oh, no, thank you. I'm not interested. Like, come on. So we see that she gives examples of how the responses are to some of the guys that they try to give a chance or try not to give a chance, and the responses of other women, in their career circles. Now, this was a 4.5 read. This one, you start, can't put down. This one is not going to be, I'm on page 169. It's not white. This is still pretty good, but it's not a 4.5 for me. I'm probably gonna rate it close to about a 4, but it's still good. Especially if you're one who likes spicy romance books. But this one, she's in the fashion world. She's a social media influencer, and in the influencer world, you know how when you have those meetup events and you got to deal with the other girls that may be a little bit slimmer, and they kind of up their nose because she's getting opportunities that they're not getting, and they're trying to put it on. Oh, they're just trying to have diversity. Oh, wait, diversity is like maybe I was just a better option, okay? Sometimes that is the case, and that's okay. It's just up your game or try a new opportunity, okay? But I want people to know it's not just, we have to understand that it's not just one-sided. So it's not just thicker girls or bigger girls that go through being negatively talked about, or just female specific. Other people get talked about as well. Skinny girls, I live my life. I'm a little bigger than what I was in school. I go between 145, 150, and in school I was in college I was like 129 to 138, right? But when you're very skinny, you get talked about as well. Like, oh, you have chicken legs, or oh, you need some meat on your bones. It's like you can't please people. So what you have to do is live for you, live your life, and enjoy yourself while staying healthy, while being positive, while staying confident, and living authentically how you can live. And so that's what I do get from these books. Now this one, she has about a dating life where she gives herself the privilege, like, I'm gonna have myself options, and those options are going to be okay with it. I love the dating integrity that it shows. So although she's not exclusively with one person when this book starts out, she's very honest with each of the guys that she's dating, and she's not sexually intimate, or she's not intimate with every one of them. She's dating each and every one, or goes on dates for which different ones, because of different things they have to offer. And she says this up front, I'm not ready to settle down yet. But as you get through the book, there's one of the guys who is just really chef's kiss, who's just really superb, okay? He knows how to put together dates. He's romantic. He is smart. He runs his own business. He's like, she don't know what it is exactly yet that he does, but he's like, has this creative artistic side, and he pays attention to her. And I love how she outlines each of the guys in this book, because they each have different qualities, and she shows how letting down people with grace is an option, but also being upfront and honest. What I don't kind of like in this one is you don't see that exchange. You don't see the reciprocity, not yet. So I got to continue reading. But in this one, with the main character and the person she ends up falling in love with, you see the reciprocity. They both show each other that they're paying attention to each other. They both showing that I'm going to give and pour into you, you're going to pour into me. Right now in this one, the one that she kind of veered to the most pours so much into her, and I have not yet seen her pour into him really. And it's like, oh, it's almost given like entitled. Like, women, we have to watch that. You have to understand it's not just about you, that we must give as well, we must pour as well. And so that's what I want to see from here. So stay tuned for the wrap up, and you'll see what my final thoughts were on this one. But I do love that this female main character have both parents in the home. Both parents are supportive, give what she needs. She was the only child, and shows, how only child, I was the only child for about 13 years. I have a baby brother, and then I also have a bonus brother as well. But I know how that only child syndrome goes, and so she's going to walk with that confidence, walk with like, I have what I need, I know what I want, so be it. Okay, but that's what I'm reading right now. Let me know if you read any Danielle Allen or any spicy books that you have read that was like, whoa, okay, I see where you're going with this. Let's get into really quickly the books that I recently purchased from Second and Charles, and then I'll let you go and see you next time, okay? All right, so I finally have a Bernice L. McFadden book, and this is Sugar. Obviously, this is an older copy. This is not a brand new. I got it used from Second and Charles. It was only $45. So I was like, oh, I found it. They had one book by Bernice, and I said I want to get into it. This is historical fiction, and this in Sugar, Bernice L. McFadden brings a 1950s black town vividly to life with its flowering magnolia trees, lingering scents of jasmine and honeysuckle, endless rows of tract houses, and white picket fences that keep strangers out, but ignorance and superstition in. To read this extraordinary novel is to take a journey through grief and suffering to a place of forgiveness, understanding, and ultimately grace. Wow, I love that. And apparently, the main character is a prostitute, and that's in the summary. Okay, that's in the summary. And she goes to this small town, and you know how that is, like, oh, I'm gonna stick my nose up. And so I'm excited to read my first Bernice L. McFadden book. Lex Reads talk about Bernice, and there was another booktube who talks a lot about Bernice's work, so I'm excited to get into that. And I finally got Tiffany D. Jackson's Grown. Second and Charles had only one book, and this is a newer copy, and it was only $5.95. Now, this is a psychological fiction. This is a YA book, but it goes into deep issues of the music industry and pulling young women and also young men. Everyone has to deal with this, but in this book, it covers what this young woman goes through at a young age, wanting to be a star and being pulled into that, and those consequences and those issues that come along with that. So I'm excited to get into this. I haven't read Blood in the Water yet. I'm reading this on my August TBR. So that will be the first Tiffany D. Jackson book that I'll read, and then I'm going to read this in the fall. So stay tuned for my fall TBRs so you can see what I picked to read, because I have some great reads. I'm getting into memoirs, nonfiction, some classics, and I just love to learn. I love to read all things and to grow with myself, expand my perspective and my perceptions and my knowledge, and I hope that you are encouraged to do the same. All right, so that's all I have for you today. I done talked it up, okay? Let me know in the comments what you're currently reading. Like, comment, share. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And in between time, in the meantime, always remember to keep rising.